Air pollution is a familiar environmental health hazard. We know that we're looking at when brown haze settles over a city, exhaust billows across a busy highway, or a plume rises from a smokestack. Some air pollution is not seen, but its pungent smells alert you. Air pollution is a common term nowadays. World is facing a serious problem because of air pollution. Air pollution is a mix of particles and gases that can reach harmful concentration both outside and indoors. Its effects can range from higher disease risk or rising temperatures. Soot, smoke, mold, pollen, methane, and carbon dioxide are just few examples of common pollutants. Sources of air pollution. There are two types of sources that we will take a look, namely natural sources and man-made sources. Natural sources. Natural sources of air pollution include dust carried by wind from location with very little or no green cover, gases released from process of living beings, carbon dioxide from human during respiration, methane from cattle during digestion, oxygen from plants during photosynthesis, smoke from the combustion of various inflammable objects, volcanic eruption, etc., along with the emission of polluted gases, also makes it to the list of natural sources of pollution. Second is man-made sources. While looking at man-made contributions toward air pollution, it can be further divided into: first, outdoor pollution sources. The major outdoor pollution sources include power generation, vehicles, agriculture waste incineration, industry building heating systems. Smoke features as prominent component. The smoke emitted from various forms of combustion like biomass, factories, vehicles, furnace, etc. Indoor pollution sources. In low and middle income countries, mostly burning fuels such as dung, coal, and wood, inefficient stove or open hearths produces a variety of health-damaging pollutants. These include carbon monoxide, methane, particulate matter, polyaromatic hydrocarbons, and volatile organic compounds. Even burning kerosene in simple wick lamps also produces significant emission of fine particles and other pollutants. Exposure to smoke and cooking fires cause 3.8 million premature deaths each year. Various causes of air pollution. The burning of fossil fuels. Sulfur dioxide emitted from the combustion of fossil fuels like coal, petroleum for energy in power plants, and other factory combustibles is one major cause of air pollution. Billions of vehicles run on roads are powered by gasoline and diesel engines that burn petroleum for releasing energy. Petroleum is made up of hydrocarbons and engines don't burn them cleanly. Agricultural activities. Ammonia is a very common byproduct of agriculture-related activities and is one of the most hazardous gases in the atmosphere. The use of insecticides, pesticides, and fertilizers in agricultural activities has grown quite a lot. They emit harmful chemicals into the air and can also cause water pollution. Farmers also set field and old crops on fire in order to keep them clean for the next round of sowing. The burning to clean fields is said to cause pollution by releasing harmful gases in the air. Waste in landfills. Landfills are land areas in which waste is deposited or buried. This buried or deposited waste generates methane. Methane is a major greenhouse gas that is highly flammable and very hazardous. E-waste is another grave concern involving a lot of unscientific dismantlings, such as chemical leaching, burning wires, and others. Exhaust from factories and industries. Manufacturing industries release a large amount of carbon monoxide, hydrocarbons, organic compounds, and chemicals into the air. thereby depleting the quality of the air. Manufacturing industries can be found at very corner of the earth, and there is no area that has not been affected by it. Petroleum refineries also release hydrocarbons and various other chemicals that pollute the air and also cause land pollution. Mining operations. This is a very controversial issue here in Surigao del Sur. There are mining companies in our place that is causing a lot of damage in our environment. Mining is a process wherein minerals below the earth are extracted using large equipment. During the process, dust and chemicals are released in the air, causing massive air pollution. This is one of the reasons which are responsible for the deteriorating health conditions of workers and nearby residents. Natural events. There are certain natural events such as volcanic eruptions, forest fires, and dust storms which are nature-born and cause air pollution. Even though forest fires may be a cause of human activities, there is a big chance that forest fire may happen naturally. All of these are the examples of various causes of air pollution. In order to understand the causes of air pollution, several divisions can be made. Air pollutions can be classified into two sections: invisible and visible air pollution. Visible air pollutants. As name suggests, it is visible. The smog you see over a city is an example of visible pollution. Invisible air pollutants. Invisible air pollutants are less noticeable, but they can be more deadly. Good example of invisible air pollutants are sulfur dioxide, carbon monoxide, and nitrogen oxides. It can be divided into primary and secondary air pollutants if we go deeper. Primary air pollutants can be caused by primary sources or secondary sources. The pollutants that are directly result of the process can be called primary pollutants. A classic example of primary pollutant would be a sulfur dioxide emitted from factories. Secondary pollutants are the ones that are caused by intermingling and reaction of primary pollutants. Smog created by interaction of several primary pollutants is known as secondary pollutant. Here are some of the examples of air pollutants. We have here sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide is a colorless gas with a pungent odor. Most of the sulfur dioxide released into the environment comes from the electric utilities, especially those that burn coal. Some other sources of sulfur dioxide include petroleum refineries, cement manufacturing, paper pulp manufacturing, and metals melting and processing facilities. We also have carbon dioxide. It is present in Earth's atmosphere at low concentration and acts as greenhouse gas. Carbon dioxide is added to the atmosphere by human activities. When hydrocarbon fuels are burned, carbon dioxide is released. During combustion or burning, carbon from fossil fuels combine with oxygen in the air to form carbon dioxide and water vapor. Nitrogen oxides. Nitrogen oxides are a family of poisonous, highly reactive gases. These gases form when fuel is burned at high temperature. Nitrogen oxide pollution is emitted by automobiles, trucks and various non-road vehicles, construction equipments, boats, etc. Unburned hydrocarbons. Prolonged exposure to this gas can lead to dizziness, headaches, and nausea. It can also lead to hydrogen sulfide poisoning, fires, and explosion which may result to death. Climate change. Climate change is a change in the pattern of weather, and related change is oceans, land surfaces, and ice sheets, occurring over timescales of decades or longer. Weather is a state of the atmosphere. Its temperature, humidity, wind, rainfall, and so on over hours to weeks. It is influenced by oceans, land surfaces, and ice sheets, which together with the atmosphere form what is called the climate system. Climate, in its broadest sense, is the statistical description of the state of the climate system. Climate change is a change in the statistical properties of the climate system that persist for several decades or longer, usually at least 30 years. These statistical properties include average, variability, and extremes. Climate change may be due to natural processes such as changes in the sun radiation, volcanoes, or internal variability in the climate system, or due to human influence such as changes in the composition of atmosphere or land use. There are many natural and anthropogenic factors that contribute to climate change. Climate change has always happened on Earth, which is clearly seen in the geological record. It is the rapid rate and the magnitude of climate change occurring now that is great concern of worldwide. Greenhouse gases in the atmosphere absorb heat radiation. Human activity has increased greenhouse gases in the atmosphere since the Industrial Revolution, leading to more heat retention and increase in surface temperatures. Atmospheric aerosols alter climate by scattering and absorbing solar infrared radiation, and they may also change the microphysical and chemical properties of the clouds. Finally, land use changes, such as deforestation, have led to changes in the amount of sunlight reflected from the ground back into the space. Major effects of climate change. It is not scientifically possible to assign individual weathers to event to current climate changes. However, it can be statistically proven that global warming will increase the probability of extreme weather events. The direct consequences of man-made climate change include rising maximum temperatures, rising minimum temperatures, rising sea level, higher ocean temperatures, an increase in heavy precipitation, shrinking glaciers, thawing permafrost. As the global climate is a highly interconnected system that is influenced by many different factors, the consequences usually result in positive or negative feedback effects. This refers to the developments that are self-enhancing due to the occurrence of certain conditions. We have to be responsible for the planet we're living in. In the end, we are the only one who will suffer in abusing our nature.